The French, however, had other ideas, and by later in 1945 they decided they wanted their colonies back, and so began 30 years of bloody war. The Cold War set in, the anti-communist agenda started to consume all US policy, and Ho Chi Minh found himself on the wrong side of the US government. By late 1946, Ho Chi Minh and his men were in full-blown war with the French. They were forced back into the jungles of the north, where they would stay for 8 long years. The recent friendships forged here with US officials in the fight against the Japanese were a thing of the past. The United States was now the main financier and supplier of weapons to the French campaign. By the mid-1950s, Vietnam's most powerful adversary wasn't the French. It was already the United States. The baton for the fight against Vietnam's communist forces passed from France to America, not in a major centre, but in this remote mountain landscape on the Lao border. I'm basically standing in what was the camp of General Vo Nguyen Giap, from which he led the Battle of Dien Bien Phu. And the Vietnamese victory, the Viet Minh victory at Dien Bien Phu, is one of the most important events of the 20th century. When Ho Chi Minh's men overran this French base at Dien Bien Phu on the 7th of May 1954, they ended almost a century of French colonial rule. They also became the first anti-colonial force to defeat a major Western power in conventional battle. The Vietnamese celebrated victory over the French, unaware they had 2 more decades of war ahead. At Dien Bien Phu, French colonial forces were doing the fighting, but the United States was picking up most of the cost. In the next battle, US involvement would be direct.